Hello guys, welcome back to Pride, a living room series. Today, we're gonna celebrate queerness. Please help me give a warm welcome to Mel Brown!
Thank you so much for being here, Mel. Can you please start us off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself?
I am a personal trainer. I live in Berkeley right now, and I'm a huge athlete. I'm really into being outside, being in the backcountry, and getting dirty, and I really like rocks and trees.
What kind of rocks do you like? Just all of them?
Oh, I like all kinds of. Do you want to see some of my rocks?
I want to see some of your rocks. Sure, yeah.
This one's a turquoise that I got when I was in Wyoming. This one's a massive piece of petrified wood, which is actually rock. The wood has actually been replaced by rock minerals. We took this one out of the immigrant wilderness, which is just north of Yosemite. This is a rock that came from Death Valley, I think.
Oh. I was wondering, what has been the voice that you have found being a part of the queer community?
Kind of like permission to be myself. Like, I feel like as a little kid, like, I was never like self-conscious. I was just like always so much myself. And then just kind of as most people, like when you hit middle school and high school, you're like kind of trying to conform in a way, just so that like you're not standing out. And I feel like when I found the queer community, it felt like a breath of fresh air. To kind of just like dress how I want to dress, look how I want to look, talk how I want to talk, and just like kind of be carefree and know that I'm going to be accepted no matter what.
Yeah. It's like once you dive into the queer community, you realize how many, I guess options.
Yeah.
All the possibilities of what you can be.
The pressure just feels like it's almost gone. You know what I mean? And I feel like it just really opens up people to like grow into who they really are.
Yeah. Being understood can be challenging. So on the journey of finding yourself, what are some obstacles that you had to overcome?
Growing up, like in elementary school, I was very androgynous, and I think that confused a lot of people, and I didn't start getting like questioned about my gender until kindergarten, but I like vividly remember kindergarten was when I was like started to get asked if I was a boy or a girl. And I remember like being told that I was like a girl, so I was like, I'm a girl, I guess. And then that question just like haunted me throughout all of elementary school, all of middle school, and like high school. I kind of started to like conform a little bit more to like the feminine, I guess, like box. And then in high school, I experienced a lot of internalized homophobia, and I like fell deeply in love with this one girl who I was friends with, and we were really close for like 4 years, but never admitted our feelings to each other. And it was just like, it felt like such the pinnacle of like internalized homophobia, where you're like, I'm so scared to like admit that I love you and that I like care about you. And we grew apart because of it. When I was at school in Chicago, I got a knee surgery and I developed a really serious eating disorder. And I ended up losing like 30 pounds in a series of like 2 months. And I was very small, and I actually left Chicago because I was so small and I couldn't take care of myself, and I came home, and then it developed into bulimia. And it felt really scary. It got like kind of out of control, and I like couldn't fix it on my own. So I ended up going into pretty intensive like therapy, and I was seeing like an eating disorder doctor. And then at one point in that treatment, I told my therapist and my doctor that I didn't want to gain weight because I didn't want to look feminine. And it just wasn't handled in the right way. I feel like they should have like handed me off to a like trans doctor and a trans like specialist therapist, but instead they were kind of just like pushing me to like eat more. And so I kind of imploded, ended up like struggling with that eating disorder for like 5 more years, until I finally a year ago like accepted that I identify as trans. And that was like kind of really when I like feel like I've kind of closed the book on my eating disorder. And then just recently started taking masculinizing hormone therapy, which has been crazy and also like something to overcome, but definitely feels like I get a do-over in a way.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's not fair that you have to explain yourself and that you can't just express who you are and have people understand who you are. It's like, no, you have to like digest it all for them, and in trying to do that you lose yourself in the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, we, like, you know, you learned a lot in the process, and you're finally, like you said, you feel like you're finally finding who you are and all of that. But it's unfair that you had to go, you know, through that process instead of being able to just be yourself.
Yeah, and I like vividly remember feeling like it was unfair that I was like the only kid that was getting asked if I was a boy or a girl. And I like remember looking around and being like, the fuck, like why isn't anybody else getting asked this question? But yeah, I've been lucky enough to have like really loving and accepting people in my life, and I think that has really like been what drives me. Yeah. And keeps me positive.
Well, once again, thank you for sharing that story. In the process of having created this show, I just love that there are voices that are being heard, that I bet that there are so many people out there who are trying to find someone that understands them. Having you, for example, share with us that story, I am sure that there's someone out there that is finally getting some sort of cathartic experience and realizing that they're not alone. I appreciate
that would have been huge for me as a kid, for sure.
It's just so important to remember that we're not alone. If there's someone that understands what we're going through, is the queer community. Just understanding in general, again, this thing of, yes, we have these colors, but there's so much more too. So many terms, so many ways that humans identify as. With that said, we are going to dive into the last segment of our show. My last guest, Avi Roque, asked you a question. Afterwards, you'll get the chance to ask a question to my next guest. Ready?
Yes.
Avi asked you,
if you could choose any animal to be your spirit animal, what would it be?
It's this little monkey called a spider monkey. I'm pretty sure they're like this big, and I just really want to like be able to like swing from tree branches and have a tail. Growing up, everyone always told me that I was a monkey just because like I've always been a really big tree climber. And I just have like a lot of energy, and I'm always like bouncing around.
Before we leave, Mal was telling me how they like to play catch.
Oh, yes.
You have a game that, do you want to explain, people?
Okay, so it's called finger catch. And I'm sure other people have played this. Essentially, you put up your index finger, and I'm gonna throw it to Claudia. And when I throw it, I'm gonna put my index finger down, and then Claudia catches it, and then you can throw it back to me. All right. And
What the heck?
oh God. Okay, I'm putting it in my pocket.
Game is over. Mal Brown, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, Mal. This was so much fun.
I told you, spider monkey.
Thank you for watching Pride, a living room series. I will see you Friday. And remember, stay queer, stay weird. Have a good one.